You probably think of research as only a kind of paper you have to do for class. But whether you realize it or not, most of us do research every day. It usually starts when we're confronted by a question like, where can I get the best deal on funky jeans? What can I make for dinner with the contents of my fridge? How do I figure out what's wrong with my car? Most of us go to other people who have stuff to say about questions like these. People who are interested in talking about shopping, or cooking, or fixing a car. In other words, we do research. Research means combining what we know and think with what other people have to say, and filtering all that information to form an answer to our particular question. Take Angie. She's been wondering whether she should get a tattoo. This might seem like an easy question to answer, especially if you know all there is to know about tattoos. What's in the ink, the potential risks, how much it hurts, how to remove them, and where to go to get one. But Angie doesn't know these things. For her, whether or not to get a tattoo is a research question, and she wants to find out what answers other people can give her. Think of research as a journey you take to find people who know something about a question you want to answer. Sometimes you know all the stops you want to make and the people you want to see, and sometimes you don't, but you always discover new people to see along the way. These people might speak from books. You might talk to them in person. You might talk to people in different disciplines, scientists, artists, writers, historians, to get different kinds of information. But whether the person is talking to you on the corner or through a book, website, or magazine, that person is a source of information. Sources answer questions, like Angie's. Some sources will have a lot to say about a particular aspect of her question. Other sources will have more to say about a different aspect. The point in talking to sources is less about piling up information than it is about digging deeper. When you talk to sources, you're tapping into conversations that are always going on out there in the world. Sometimes these conversations happen directly, say when a bunch of doctors get together in a room to discuss medical standards for tattooing. Sometimes these conversations happen indirectly, as when you as a researcher put your different sources together to see how they might speak to each other. Sources are people talking to each other. Evaluating sources means figuring out why people think the way they do. One source might want your money. Another might want to convert you to their cause. Angie has to evaluate her sources and figure out why they say what they do. Sources have an agenda, whether they're bikers, friends, parents, or books in the library. It's important to consult multiple sources, but the hard part is in sifting through all the information, opinions, and competing agendas and figuring out what you think of it all. All research is aimed toward discovery, toward you interpreting what you've gathered from your sources. No one source can answer a question for you. You are the only one who can do that. After all the conversations you've had, you take what you know, mix it together with what you've learned, and see where you are. Sources help you shape what you think. In school, your research paper should be a map of all the sources you've consulted to develop an answer to your question. Some of these sources will be authorities on a subject. Some sources might represent different sides of an issue. Some sources might help describe the context for your question. Finally, though, whatever kind of information a source provides, you use it in your paper because it has helped shape your thinking on a question, and it's become part of your argument for why you think what you do. This is why teachers ask you to use sources. It's not a matter of listing a set number of authorities, facts, or figures. Sources help you clarify or strengthen your answer to a question, an answer you explain in a research paper. Research means taking part in an ongoing conversation.